Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Word Origins 325. The word origin today is the Mandela Effect. Okay, somebody wants a screenshot, do it right now. Let's get right to it. The Mandela Effect is a term that expresses the phenomenon of a great deal of people independently or separately sharing the same false memory, so fake memory. Let's continue. The term was coined by Fiona Broome, who was a writer and researcher for the paranormal, especially in regard to ghosts. So she used to do a lot of research in this area. However, Fiona Broome herself had a false memory of the famous South African leader Nelson Mandela dying in the 1980s while in prison. As she researched, she discovered many other people shared this same memory. So this is where the term comes from, is that many people believe Nelson Mandela died in the 1980s. And she had this memory. She thought for sure this is what it was, but in fact, we know that that's not the case. Nelson Mandela got out of jail, and eventually he became the president of South Africa. So let's continue. Perhaps people mixed up Nelson Mandela with the lesser-known anti-apartheid leader Biko, who died in prison in 1977. Maybe that's why it is. I don't know. Could be other reasons. I remember Biko because there used to be a famous singer, Peter Gabriel, sang a song about him. And then there was they did make a movie about him, I think in the 1980s or 90s too. Maybe people somehow mixed up the two. Who knows? Let's continue. All right. Whatever the reason, many people share false memories in all areas of society. And then we use this term, the Mandela Effect, to explain that. So let's continue. Here's the first one. Many people have the Mandela Effect about the cartoon character Curious George having a tail, when in fact he did not. Well, of course, this cartoon character is a monkey, so monkeys naturally have tails. So when people remembered him, they probably just associated it and thought, well, he must have a tail because he's a monkey. But in fact, the cartoon character did not have one. Let's continue. Another Mandela Effect is many people remember the name of the HBO series as Sex in the City, when the actual name is Sex and the City. You can almost understand this, in and, they kind of sound similar, and the other one just caught on, but again, it's a false memory. Number 3, many people remember the children's cereal Fruit Loops, spelled F-R-O-O-T, more like a name, as Fruit Loops, F-R-U-I-T, loops, is another example of the Mandela Effect. Could be the cereal was very colorful and looked like it had a lot of fruity taste, so maybe that's why people made this association, but again, it was a false memory. Let's continue. Number 4. In regard to global warming, many people say they remember the temperatures used to be cooler and they are considerably warmer now. But in fact, they are similar. They are not different enough to tell the difference. Now, I'm saying that they're not different, not saying that global warming doesn't even exist. But by the most drastic estimates, on average, the Earth's temperature is 1 degree or slightly more than 1 degree higher. So you can't really remember that on average. Can you remember heat waves? Sure, you can remember we're experiencing a heat wave right now. So we will think, oh, well, the temperatures must be warmer. But if you really average it out, even the Earth's temperature these days only varies from about 1 to 1.5 degree difference. So can people really remember that? Can they really remember that? Oh, no, it wasn't 77 degrees, it was 78 degrees. So even in the years before, yes, we have heat waves, but we have cold spells, and they kind of average them out. And the overall average is only 1 degree more. So can you really remember that the temperatures were cooler and now they are warmer? Probably not. So let's continue here. All right, most agree. But can people really remember the temperature of every day for the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years or more? And would you even want to? Even if you're Einstein, you would be focused on other facts. We can only keep so many facts in our head that's of importance, and the temperature on a single day is not that important. So can we really remember that temperatures were warmer and cooler when there's only a 1 degree difference? This effect is also related to the Mandela Effect. So you can't really truly remember this on an overall basis. All right, number 5. Another Mandela effect is many people remember the Star Wars character CP03 as being all gold, but in fact he had one silver leg, for all those Star Wars fans out there. And they even say that even many people that are diehard Star Wars fans might say, no, he's all gold, but he does have a silver leg, or the bottom of his leg anyway. Number 6, the fact that many people remember the cartoon Flintstones as Flintstones probably is also, due to a mispronunciation, is another effect of the Mandela effect. So it is actually Flintstones, but most people mispronounce it as Flintstones. So, again, it just caught on, the mispronunciation caught on, so that's why people always assume that it's, they have a false memory of this, when they pronounce it wrong. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was clear. I hope it was very informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.